Hi friends, welcome to Ashok IT. I am Ellen Rao. Today in this video we are going to learn Singleton design pattern. First of all, what is the design pattern? In software development, so many problems recurringly occur. Means same problem in every project repeatedly occurs. It leads to code maintainability problem. Rapid application development is not possible. Code reusability is compromised. Certain issues will be there. They are recurring in nature. For such recurring problems, a general, common solution, a well-designed general solution for a common recurring problem in software development is known as a design pattern. To repeat, what is a design pattern? A well-designed general solution for a common recurring problem in software development. There are so many design patterns. If you use design pattern in application development, code reusability will improve, rapid application development possible, RAD, and code maintainability. So as a result, cost of implementation gets reduced. So because of these benefits, industry uses so many design patterns in application development. So in this video today, one of many design patterns, one pattern we are discussing, that is Singleton design pattern. What is the problem? For example, I want to do logging. I want to do caching in the project. But in the entire project, only one instance, only one object should be doing logging. Only one object should be doing caching. Only one object should be doing resources allocation. For example, database connectivity. But if you don't design a class properly, multiple instances creation will happen. It leads to ambiguity. Problem is multiple instances performing the crucial task, hampering our application development. That is the problem. What is the solution? Singleton design pattern. So what is the solution? I already told you design pattern is a well-designed general solution. General solution means in any project you can use this solution. What is the solution is? You design a Java class in such a way that the class should be instantiated only once. As per Singleton design pattern, allow instantiation of a Java class only once and provide global access to that single instance in the entire application. The class should be designed in such a way that only one instance should be able to be created. Give global access to that single instance in the entire project. That single instance only a particular activity it will do in the entire project. So that is the common solution for a design pattern. Please remember, a design pattern is not a coding rule like, okay, it is not a hard and fast rule. By understanding the solution in general, we have to implement that in coding. So now we have to design a Java class allowing only one instance to be created. How to do it? Okay, so in a class, three things commonly if you implement, three things if we commonly implement, we can achieve the solution. We can implement the Singleton design pattern. Design pattern says not in coding. It speaks about a solution in a normal language statement. We have to convert that solution into coding. That is implementation of the design pattern. So, how to implement a Singleton design pattern is, in a Java class, we should have three things. So, in a Java class, okay, so a Java class should have three things. If these three things are properly implemented, it means you implemented a Singleton design pattern. So number one, private static field. Private static field we have to write. Actually, you can use the object in Java only through reference of the object. Na? The reference of the object you declare in the class with a private access modifier and make that reference as static. When I am showing you in the coding, you will get the clarity. So, field means here the variable. But which variable? Reference variable of that class, of that object you have to create. It should be private and it should be static. Second thing is factory method. Static factory method. Factory method means a method that creates the instance of the class or that provides the reference of the instance of the class. We call it as a factory method. So, static factory method. Static factory method you should have. Very good. So the third thing that you should have is private constructor. We should write a private constructor. If you implement these three, you have implemented in a simple fashion Singleton design pattern. First, we will be seeing in coding how to implement these three things in a Java class. In a Java class, if you provide these three things, you are implementing Singleton design pattern. If you implement only these three things, some problems will be there. Okay. So you can feel that beautiful solution we have given, but some pitfalls will be there. You can violate the rules of Singleton. So all those things also we have to introduce. If we implement all those things, then beautifully Singleton design pattern is implemented. Okay, so let us see and how to implement singleton design pattern. I will show you in the system, I will show you in live coding, but rough idea I give here first on singleton design pattern. Singleton design pattern means writing a Java class. Okay, writing a Java class. So any class name, okay, I say singleton or any name you can give, any class. So public class test, I am writing the class. It means this test class we are making it as singleton. What is the first thing we have to achieve? First thing I told you, private. Okay. So one field we have to create, please. Private static test. So this test, this is the reference of the object of test class. This is the private static field. Which class object we are going to create? It's a reference you create as a private static field. This is the first thing. Second thing I am implementing here. Okay, I am implementing private constructor. Okay, so constructor is private. So I say private constructor I am writing. So class name, method name same without return type, that is called a constructor. Okay, so one thing is reference of that type as a private static field. Another thing is write the private constructor. And one more thing is we have to write a public method. Globally that instance should be accessible now. So public static method. Public static. I am implementing the factory method here. So factory method always returns the reference of the object of the class. So return type is test. What is the factory method name? Any method you can write, but I say get instance. Now, in this, you will create the object of the class and return the reference. There are two ways of implementing singleton. Object creation you can do in two styles. One is known as eager instantiation, another is lazy instantiation. Lazy instantiation means whenever the method is called, at that time only we create the object. How I am creating object? I am verifying if this reference is null. If test equal to null, okay, then only I create the object of the test class. So now I say test is equal to new test. So we are instantiating the class. Instantiating the class means creating the object of the class. Some people say instantiating the object. No. Instantiating the class is nothing but creating the object of the class. What is the last line? Return test. Return test. Whoever calls this method, what will happen? Reference of the object of the class will be returned to the caller. I implemented three things. One is what? Private static field, the reference of the object, constructor private, a static factory method. In this factory method, I am creating the object of the class and returning the reference. But if 10 times this method is called, is every time object getting created? No. I am verifying the reference now. If reference is null, first time only reference will be null. Second time onwards, condition becomes false. Therefore, new instance, instance freshly will not be created. So, only once instance created and the reference is returned. This is called lazy instantiation. Means I will create the object only when somebody requires it and calls the method. Another is called eager instantiation. One more concept is there called eager instantiation. Means I will not be creating the object of the class here. I simply return the reference. Then where you create the object? Here I create the object. Okay. So test is equal to, okay. So I create the object here. So test is equal to, okay, test is equal to new test. That's all. Now tell me, this is known as what? Eager instantiation. Means before somebody wants it, at the time of class loading only, this line is executed, object is created. Okay, always class is loaded only once, therefore object is created only once. So here creating the object is eager instantiation, only creating the reference, but in the method, by checking test is equal to null or not, creating the object, that is called lazy instantiation. These are the two ways. In a simple manner, all the three conditions are satisfied. Now, this test class is called a Singleton class. No doubt about that, but leak chance is there here. For example, you are checking test equal to null. In multi-threaded environment, two threads are accessing. At a time, if null is reachable to them, what will happen? In each thread, a new object will be created. So, you have to make the method as synchronized. Some people may clone this. In java.lang.object class, cloning chance is there. So, therefore, cloning to be prevented. So, overriding the clone method, clone not supported exception we have to throw. So, through cloning, we cannot violate this design pattern if you implement. Through synchronized method, two threads, each thread separate instance creation chance we can reduce. But because of synchronized, a bit of performance compromise will be there, but that is very negligible. Okay. And through serialization, Okay, if you store this object, okay, into the disk, when you retrieve, existing instance may not come, a new instance may be created. So, deserialization, new instance creation also you can be implementing. Okay, so different solutions are there in the coding I can be showing please. Okay, so now let us see in the system, in the live coding I will show you, but overall view I have given here. In coding, you will come to know how to implement a singleton class so that only one instance is possible for that. That's all theoretically singleton design patterns. Theoretically, we have learned just now singleton design pattern. Now what I am showing you is in live coding, I am showing you how to implement singleton design pattern. I am writing a class. I have taken class name test. It means this test class, I want to make it a singleton. How many things it should have? 3 things it should have. Means one reference variable. It should be static. This will be the reference of that single instance. First condition satisfied. Next what? Next what is constructor private. Now, I made the constructor private. Second thing also satisfied. Now, third thing, please. Now, third thing is we have to write a factory method. Method is public, static, return type is test, method name is getInstance. So, static field created, first condition implemented. Private constructor, yes, second condition. Factory method also written, please. Static factory method. You can give any name to this method. I have taken getInstance. Always it should return what? Instance of the class. That is why singleton class return type only you should write here. Now, you have to create the object. No? If you say test is equal to new test, if you write gone, it will not become a singleton anymore. Why? Every time this method is called, brand new object will be created. No, I don't want that. First I have to verify if test equal to null, first time when the class is loaded, this reference will hold null value. No? That is why I am checking. If test is null, then what to do? Create the object of test class. That's all. And then what you should do? Return that test place. Over. Singleton design pattern implementation is over. Some loopholes are there to exploit, but without anything, this is the story. Okay. So what is implemented? Singleton design pattern is implemented. So one factory method, one private constructor. Why constructor is made private? Because from outside, you cannot create the object if it is the private constructor. Within the class only object can be created. That's why it is allowed. Now tell me, when the object of this class is created? At the time of class loading? No, only when this method is called. That is why this is known as lazy instantiation. Only when called, at that time only created. Okay, fine. So let us check once. How to make use of this instance. Like now what I'll do, I create a class. Okay, I create a class, just test singleton. Something just is not great. So now what I'll do is, I will be using this. Okay. Uh, so test is equal to, yeah. So which method I will be calling? Test dot get instance. Object is created. Object I will get, please. Now, idea sake, okay, I find the hash code of this. I find the hash code. That's it. So once again, I call this method. Once again, I call the same method. Second time I am calling. Okay, I say test one. So here I say test one. Tell me, first one instance created. I am printing the hash code. Now again I called for that. If another object is created, now then I would have got the another hash code. Okay, now let me run this. Let me run this. Observe please. Hash code same or hash code different? Hash code same. Means what? Means what? Object, same object reference came. Only first time, brand new object created. Second time onwards, existing object reference only coming, no new object created. Definitely, it is a solid proof that test class is a singleton. That's all. It is primary evidence that it is a singleton. But now there are loop. This is called what instantiation? I mean, this is lazy instantiation. Then what is eager instantiation? New test. We just create. Okay, new test like. Okay. So this is called, because class loading time only it is created. Fine. See, whether you are going for eager or lazy, only one instance. Every time new instance is not created because the reference is static type. Only once class loaded, at that time only the instance is created. Second time onwards when the method is called, only same object reference only returned, brand new object is not created. 100% it is a singleton class with eager instantiation. But there are some problems in this. You can violate this, you can exploit this, you can create multiple objects also. Facility is there here. How? So if this method is not synchronized, okay, if the method is not synchronized in multiple threads, in each thread, new instance may come, please. Okay, if you are implementing, what is that? Lazy instantiation. If you are doing test equal to null, okay, test equal to null, what you say? Test is equal to new test. This is what we were writing. Very good. You implemented it. One thread got the chance. It said test dot get instance. Before object create, condition is true for the first thread. Before this line is executed, another thread has got the chance, assume. There also null only will be there. It means two thread got the control, got the chance, condition passed. Therefore, in one thread, one object, another thread, another object will be created if the method is not synchronized. That is why the method should be synchronized. That is the second point, please. And one more, cloning also possible. you can clone it also. Okay, if you know, clone means creating the exact copy. Okay, public object return type clone. Okay, throws clone not supported. If you do like this, okay, throw new. You know what will happen? Here, using cloning, already one object created. No? Using cloning, if you try to create a new object, test.clone, what will happen? So, throws. Yeah. So, what will happen is exception will be raised. Means one object normally created, programmer is trying to violate the singleton design pattern through cloning. If it is successfully executed, na, another instance, one more instance, brand new instance would have been created. Because I implemented perfectly overriding the clone method of object java.lang.object class. If anybody tries to clone it, throw the exception but don't allow. This is one way. And if you further deeply explore, even deserialization also can be prevented, please. This is the way to implement the singleton design pattern. Thank you.